Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning, grand rising, good afternoon, whatever your vibe is. Hope you're feeling well. I could not believe how well this painting came out. This is probably one of my favorite paintings, and I feel like with this particular painting in particular, I really feel like I finally had a breakthrough in understanding how I wanted to create my style, my universe. The last painting I did with the TV hit, I feel like really gave me a concept of something that I felt like was my own because I had a lot of different ideas I wanted to do with the paintings. And with this one, I really felt like I didn't want to just do a bunch of stuff that I seen online. You know what I mean? I really wanted to create my own universe. I'm really big on trying to create my own universe. So with this particular genre, I guess, of paintings that I started doing with the television hits, I really think I was able to create my own scape of a universe finally, and I'm very happy with how these ones have came out. This one actually I feel like is pretty good because I've gotten a lot of love from this one. This is probably like my most liked painting I've shown on TikTok. And this one, I didn't even have a chance to actually take a picture with it because as soon as I got finished with it, I put it with the other paintings I have in my house. And when my sister came to pick up the painting, she actually ended up buying this one. So this one is gone already. So I didn't even get a chance to take a selfie with this one to even put it up on my Instagram. So I'm gonna have to find the pictures that I do have and just use this footage. But I'm really happy with how this painting came out overall. Like I said, so I started using the background. I wanted to go with like a magenta sky, and then I also wanted to, to kind of feel like space. So I used a lot of purples, a lot of deeper violets and colors, and try to make those blend in with different gradations and different tones to try to give it clouds and different nebulas, some type of different textures in there. So you'll see a lot of that in this particular painting. And then I wanted to have some mushroom trees to kind of be like overgrown and giant, like in the distance, but still, big enough to see to kind of give it that type of scale, so you can kind of see relative size rather. And right now, you'll see me going in and doing, I guess, the insides, the flesh of the mushroom cap. And I really wanted to try to create depth on this part. So you'll see me go in with those lighter colors and then I'll go over those. Like I said, I've really learned to build up layers in these previous paintings. So I'm not afraid to put a layer down and see it kind of streaky and then go back over that with the colors that I actually want. A lot of times I feel like the best practice to do is use, a lot of times I'll use either a watered down or a flat version of the color just to put it down as a base. And then I'll go over that color with a combination of colors because I feel like for some reason having a mixture of colors and not just the color straight out of the tube tends to look better and it tends to have a more, I don't know, it just takes to the what is it, the canvas a bit better, I would say. So that's how I usually do it. And right here I came up with this really nice gold tone using a lot of yellow ochre, a lot of yellow, and then some, I didn't even use orange. I tried to use a little bit of brown in here and some purple to get some of those darker tones in there. You'll see that, and then some purple. A lot of times in my shadows, I try to use purple because when I do digital art, I use like a light violet for shading. And I feel like in real life, it's technically meant to mimic, digital art is meant to mimic that. So I try to bring that here. So whenever I want to create a shadow color, a lot of times I'll use like a light violet or a darker violet in there to try to give it, more of a realistic shading rather than using straight black. A lot of times I feel like you'll get a better color, and I was really happy with how that turned out. And here we're finally getting into the character. We're starting to do the back of the head. I felt like for this particular one, I felt like instead of showing the face, I wanted to give more of a reflective look and have it more like an. I wanted to give a feeling of optimism. I'm not sure if that quite came across for me. I do feel it when I see the piece because, like I said, if it got, like I said, when I seen it and I put it up in the house, like it just had a really nice feeling to it. It felt like almost serene. So I wanted to have her almost diving out and kind of looking into the space, kind of just, so you can kind of interpret what feeling you wanted from it rather than put the emotion on the face. I kind of wanted you to interpret how you felt with it. But for me personally, I felt like it was given like optimism, like looking forward to the future, just taking a moment to enjoy life. That's why I wanted to also do like the magenta grass, and you'll see that coming in a minute. But I wanted to do a lot of that with the purple and the pinks as well, just to kind of give some of that more serene feeling and not necessarily just go with green grass. I feel like colors really dictate the emotions when it comes to paintings and when it comes to art, period. So the colors that you choose really dictate a lot of that. And here you'll start to see me use the violet grass that I have going in with some of that violet, or excuse me, with some of the magenta sky. So my thought process with doing this skin was primarily to just do the shadows first, as you'll see me blocking those in because I felt like if I did the shadows and then I worked up the tones in that way for this particular painting, I felt like I would be able to get the forms the way I wanted them to. The biggest thing that I'm used to doing is using a lot of line art with my work. And this particular painting, and a lot of my other paintings, I'm trying not to do as much line art. I'll have some, but not necessarily a lot. So when it comes to the body and the form, I try to let the shadow and shapes dictate the exact form and lighting. And since that's not something I'm all the way used to, I really feel like the easiest thing for me in particular to do is to start with the shadow, since I want to go for more of a cell shaded type of style, a more comic style, not necessarily a fully blended look, but I like to have more of that blocky graphic look. So I'll start off with the deeper shadows and then I'll build the colors up from there. And then I'll just work my way up. And then you'll see me here drying that part out. So that way it'll be completely dry. So when I put the next color down, it'll completely be matte and it'll completely be solid. That way I can achieve that cell shaded, more graphic, blocky look that I wanted versus having it blended. Because if I do wet on wet, like, wet paint into other wet paint, it'll have more of a, it'll blend into each other a bit more. And then I'll have to blend it out a bit more. With this style, I don't have to blend it as much because once the color's dry, I can just put it down and then I can either correct or change the shape of the previous part or even change the shape of the new parts by just making the same color or a different color. And I actually liked how this one came out. I feel like it was much easier for me to do it this way. So I may try this going forward. I'm doing a painting right now, so I might try that now that I'm actually looking at this in this way here versus doing it the other way where I do it where sometimes I'll completely, like you've seen with the grass, I'll do a complete flat and then I'll do the details on top. But I think in this particular instance, this was the right way to go. So I think I'm going to try that with more of my characters in the future because I really like how this character came out. And I really like how rich these tones came out. I'm not trying to make every character exactly the same shade of brown or the same shade of skin or flesh tone. I'm trying to make each of my characters all have their own skin tones. Humans have a lot of different variations. We have a lot of different undertones, and I'm trying to get a lot of those colors to come out in each painting to show the variety and the beauty of all the skin tones that we have. So I'm trying to use as many different colors as possible in my blends and to try to really create, like I said, different skin tones and things that also match the background. With this one, I felt like since there was a purple grass, essentially a purple background, I felt like having more of the yellow lighting would really reflect well off of that since those two colors are contrasting. That's why I think a lot of those gold tones reflect well off of a lot of that purple background. And then I felt like that magenta works as like a nice middle base, and the blues are harmonious with the purples and also look pretty good, against the orangier tone. So I feel like a lot of this is just a very delicate balance of blending the colors together, but I think it really looked pretty well. You guys will let me know how you feel about this one, but I really do like how the skin tone came out on this one. And we're just about finished up. Like I said, I appreciate you guys so much for watching. Please comment, share, like, and subscribe. Let me know if you guys are painting anything. If you guys have any tips, please let me know. Like I said, I really love how this painting came out with this graphic style. One of the things I always feel like is the best thing to do at the end is add the finishing touches and just add that little bit of highlight. It's called rim lighting. I always like to do a little rim light or ambient occlusion and do some of that as well in there. And this thing is completely set and good to go. Add some of that pink in there just to reflect off of the sky. And here we go. Let me guys know what you think. Have a great rest of your day. I'm Barbados Black. Follow me on Apple, YouTube, Spotify, and everywhere else. Have a great day.